This is a response to the Kurzgesagt video where they try to create the perfect planet for life to live on, and I have a couple of issues with it and a lot of nitpicks. This is not a video about Kurzgesagt being liberal and that being bad, though I do disagree with them politically and economically about a lot of things. This is not about any of that. Finally, I'd recommend for you to watch their video and then come back here, so you know I am not misrepresenting them. I will link it in the description. So I will be playing a clip from their video and then I will be responding to what they say. So let's begin with that.
We want Hestia to have mild seasons that create migration, boom and bust cycles, and evolutionary pressure, so we tilt its axis slightly and give it 36-hour days.
Alright, so this one is fully a nitpick, but they only discuss tilt, so they've got seasons down, but not like ice ages, for example, which are also very important. Something like an ice age is going to drastically affect all the other stuff they're going to talk about. So that's the nitpick here. It's not very important, but I still wanted to mention it.
And 4 small moons that hang like pearls in the night sky. Moons are crucial because with the right resonance, they create stability, avoiding overly punishing disruptions.
They just don't elaborate on this. What does this mean? Why would we want 4 moons specifically? I don't understand.
Earth has one huge downside. Most of its land is bound in large continents, whose central areas are very far away from water, creating deserts with scarce resources and hostile environments. So for Hestia, we maximize coastlines and avoid megacontinents. All of its land has access to water, salt or fresh, without a single desert, creating the maximum land surface area for life. Hestia's biomass on land is also supercharged because we'll make it 5 degrees Celsius warmer than Earth. This doesn't sound like much, but as we know, Earth has plenty of spaces that are uncomfortably cold for much of the year, while tropical rainforests have ideal conditions for life. On Earth, they hold more biomass than any other land ecosystem, and Hestia is nothing but tropical forests and ice-free polar regions. Hestia is nothing but tropical forests and ice-free polar regions.
So this is why I decided to make this video. I find it ridiculous to suggest that the planet they have made would only be tropical rainforests in the first place. But I also find it ridiculous that that is even something that you would want. Like, they're coming at this from an angle that, like, biomass is the only metric to measure how good a planet is to support life, which I think completely ignores, like, actual, like, diversity. Because, you know what? I like living on a planet with more than one climate. But also, to get back on the previous point, this wouldn't only create tropical forests. That's stupid. They would definitely be more numerous, but there will be other climates. That's not how this works. And again, I think it's a good thing to have diversity, even deserts, because there will be creatures that live in those deserts, despite those conditions, that I think have worth and value and should exist. I think that part of a perfect planet to support life would be diversity, even if that doesn't max out the potential biomass.
We'll give it many fragmented continental plates, creating a geology that's ideal for producing long island arcs. Hestia is now an archipelago world, with a few dozen continents and millions of islands of all sizes and shapes.
They don't address the amount of, like, earthquakes and tsunamis that would be caused by this, which I think is important to at least mention, you know.
Hestia's islands have hundreds of thousands of unique habitats, with hundreds of thousands of little private niches to fill, each home to unique creatures that are ultra-specialized for it. All possible variations on a theme manifest in different species, one stranger than the next. On Earth, tropical forests like the ones in these islands house 50% of all species on just 10% of its land.
I think if the planet looks the exact way it does in the video, which it might not, to be fair, it would be disappointingly similar on a lot of these islands, because creatures could just travel from one island to another and set up there, which would not be stopped at all if every single island is a tropical rainforest. So, whoops. I don't think it would have the biodiversity they would hope for.
Lifting that much weight will for sure transform your body.
So that sucks for them.
The isolated tropical islands have given nature thousands of attempts at building funny tree-type things that densely cover Hestia. On Earth, plants are green to best catch energy from the sun, but with Hestia's orange dwarf, they take on darker shades to hoard the fainter light.
I think that's interesting and cool. I don't have this. This isn't a negative part. I think that's interesting. That's a cool thought.
The fungi forests of the high plateaus dominated by armored centipede lizards.
That's not a fucking rainforest.
In Earth's thin atmosphere, flight costs a lot of energy, but in Hestia's super dense air, it's super cheap. Despite the higher surface gravity, animals need much smaller wings and less energy to stay afloat. Over billions of years, thousands of branches of Hestia's evolutionary tree have discovered flight, and the skies are full of flying animals of all sizes.
This also contradicts the earlier point about isolated islands. If it's so easy to fly around, they would mingle a lot.
Virtually all of the ocean and its floor is a sunlight zone. There are downsides to shallow oceans, of course. They heat and cool faster, which creates stronger seasons and more storms. But again, disruptions drive life to specialize and make it more diverse.
I think they're underplaying the effects that this would have. Personally, I do not know them because the sea is very complicated and we don't understand its role on ecology and climate on land very well. But something will go horribly wrong if you do that you have not foreseen. You cannot just gloss over that.
What about intelligent life? Well, our perfect planet has so many ecosystems and opportunities that it would probably develop sooner or later, maybe even multiple times at once. Imagine a planet where different alien civilizations exist in parallel, each with their own empires of stone and wood, maybe metal and silicon.
Doesn't look like a rainforest to me, buddy. Intelligent life did also develop multiple times at once on Earth. See whales and elephants. Also, I wonder why they would assume they'd all have empires.
Different alien civilizations exist in parallel, each with their own empires of stone and wood, maybe metal and silicon.
That's also just a nitpick for their phrasing, but like, guys, that is not necessary. And I also am just a little bit disappointed in their just non-curiosity to elaborate on this any further, because it is a topic that I think would be interesting to talk about a little bit more, but I guess they aren't as interested, which isn't even like a qualitative nitpick, it's just my personal taste, but hey, it's my video. It's my video, shut up.
What would they think of our desert planet with winters and ice, with a few specks of green? Would they look at space and say, no thank you to planets that are so obviously inferior?
That is uncalled for.
We don't know if a planet like Hestia exists, but it actually could. Maybe among the quadrillions of planets in the universe, somewhere around a small and super stable orange dwarf, there's a place that's home to more life today than Earth has hosted in its entire history.
Yeah, so I think this clip is exemplary of just the fact that this video is mostly about just, let's imagine this planet and it's so cool and all of the... And I'm just being a complete buzzkill by like, overthinking it. And I have to mention that there is this like small trend of like criticizing Kurzgesagt, and that I am profiting from it. I think that the main issue with this video is that it had a lot of opportunities to talk about like actual climatology and just did not. So I think that was a little bit frustrating.